the summary video. Here we are in Lowell. What we have here is a fire escape that must be structure sound, must be get painted in order to pass inspection. It needs a paint job in order to pass inspection, so it doesn't pass the pre-load test evaluation. Structurally, she's got a failure rate overall probably of 25%, and I'll point what that is, why she didn't pass the pre-load test evaluation. So even though she's an older fire escape, she can be load tested, but we can also avoid the load test by changing all the fasteners at this time. There's some issues with the building that may prevent it at this time from being refurbished or being mothballed, but we need to talk a little bit more with the city in regards to what's going to happen here. So in regards to it, it is, there's some spalling of some cement, but not a lot, but some of the cement is spalling below, but again, limited few connections of the rails or the brackets into the building, but not full-blown spalling, but we are seeing that it needs routine maintenance for about 25%. Some of the bolts, the bolts and the heads are in good order, but this fire escape I think was installed in the 80s, they claim. So as you can see, standard construction, older style construction railings, and again, we're not seeing a lot of wear and tear, but again, only about a 25% failure rate on some of these bolts, and that is depending where they're located. If they were put in upside down, the nut may be getting chewed or rotting away, and that needs to be swapped out. But again, no major rust in the majority of the connections, but you are getting some rust in some areas, so you need to change this one but not this one, again, if you're going to perform a load test. I'm not getting too much cement problem here, and but again, original hardware, square head bolts. Okay, some of the spacers on the fire escape are rotting, but again, on a limited basis, I'd say less than 25% of the spacers on the grating need to be reinforced. Going down, you see where water's starting to penetrate and starting to get in, but again, limited. Stringer clips, they look good, but again, original hardware, some penetration, and if anything, like this one, less than 25% of the overall structure, I'm finding issues. I am finding a higher rate of tread problems, so as I go down, you're going to see that the treads, there is rot in here. And instead of doing a spot repair on the treads, I would just do 100% of the treads and eliminate them from the need of being load tested at this time. So changing the treads 100%, you're not going to have a problem. But there is rust growing in all the treads. Every single tread has rust, usually on the right side, not on the left side. It all depends on how the sun hits it. Okay, so here we go going down. As you can see, we've got rust issues on the stringer clips. So again, there's a focus of at least 50%, if not 75% on each staircase. And so this needs to be redone, rebolted here. Look at the rust growing there, see? So that needs to be done, okay? Again, back to the original hardware. They're in good order. So load testing is a possibility on this particular fire escape. There is a spacing issue here that needs to be filled. Either move the grate over and close up the space and put the space on the outside so nobody's going to get hurt, but there's a trip hazard there. Again, some of the tread spacers are showing some wear, but not full blown. So again, less than 25% of all the grating is going to need attention where you can reinforce the grating. Just going back through here, you may want to make sure that attachment into the building with the lag screws are good. I'm getting evidence of the through bolts. As you can see, a nice through bolt there. There's no dipping of any kind that I can see. You want to silicone shut all these connections prior to a paint job. The paint job may be pushed off depending if the city allows while the building is vacant. Maybe it's just do the structural now, do the painting later if the city official allows to make the fire escape functional until such time that renovations or other activity is done on this building. But you can see some spacers are starting to crack and pop here. All right, going down. Again, you've got some areas where the rust has definitely got in there. We got to change these bolts on the rail side because there's definitely evidence. So again, you can go in and do a lot of these and then in preparation, seal it up. So as you know, if you change the bolts, there is no load test. If you leave the original hardware, it's load tested every 5 years as a requirement here in the city of Lowell. And you start getting into the treads again. All of a sudden, all the treads have rust buildup, primarily on the right side. So I wouldn't do one side and leave the other. I would do both sides and get it done so that the staircase is no longer concerned by anybody. Okay, and again, you can just see it. The treads are a concern. on the fire escape here. And the clips down there full of rot. So those got to get done. Getting back to the bolts again, you know, you touch the head, you touch the nut. They look pretty good, so you can just load test. There's a chain here, and there's a release mechanism there, the fold-out ladder. As you can see, the fold-out ladder needs to be greased, and it also needs to be straightened out. It looks like somebody either hit it. But again, these are normally they need to be just checked, greased, checked to see that all the bolts are good so that none of them are ready to pop or drop with one of the rungs. But you know, I'm not going to be able to open it because I can't guarantee that it'll close. But you're getting some spalling. So again, 25% spalling issues. So those need to be re-looked at. And if you got spalling, a lot of it is once you've repacked, and again, less than 25%, seal it with silicone all the way around. So whether this is a spot repair and a load test or a full refurb and a load test, every major joint does need to get silicone shut. Now notice this, you also want to get some J-bolts on here or McNichols clips to hold these things down so that doesn't make that sound. It'll scare people. Anything that's into the building, sitting on the roof, what you want to do is you want to just add more tar to that, just to help in any way, keep that from getting any water leakage of any kind. You've got some buildup of rust here, so that's easy to clean once you've cleaned it. And on this side, you can start seeing some of the spacers on the grating. Again, in overall, I don't think there's 25% failure rate on the grating on some straps that need to come in. Cement, again, it's less than 25% of the cement overall on this fire escape. So routine maintenance and the paint job might be able to be held off. And once the fire escape is functional, they may even forego the load test until a determination is going to happen on the building. Again, that's with the city officials' decision, not ours. Any questions? Fire escape engineers, inspect the summary video. 866-649-0333. And even all the connections underneath, they look pretty good, but you know, they'll be verified at each bolt, but there seems to be no major corrosion growing on these supports. But again, they all are original hardware square head bolts in all the connections. 866-649-0333, Fire Escape Engineers.